Welcome to Lecture 4, Reasons for Studying Comparative Administration. Introduction. This lecture seeks to alert you to some of the many reasons why comparative study of public administration is justified or useful. In your previous lecture, you were taught that comparative study of public administration is well accepted across the world and that thousands of students and scholars are devoting their time to studying it around the world. You are also informed that many universities around the world, including our own University of Ibadan, are offering courses in comparative administration, especially universities running programs in the area of public administration or political science. This shows that comparative administration must be very important and useful. In this lecture, you shall be intimated with at least 4 specific reasons why a comparative study of public administration is very beneficial to you as an individual and to the society or the world at large. Course objectives. At the end of this lecture, you should be able to explain 1. What you stand to gain as an individual from studying comparative administration. 2. How comparative administration benefits students and public administration scholars. 3. Why the government of developing countries should pay attention to the comparative administration. And 4. In what ways knowledge derived from comparative administration can promote development in the world. Content. Every course is studied for a reason or specific set of reasons. Comparative administration is not an exemption. For what are the reasons why thousands, if not millions, of people around the world are devoting time to the study of comparative administration? In other words, why is comparative study of public administration necessary and useful? Before answering these reasons, let me point out at this juncture that the goals of comparative methods used by political scientists for all intent and purposes are similar to those pursued by public administration scholars. To quote according to Peter Lewins 2009, again, the value of comparative method lies in its ability to help researchers achieve or know what is unique to country experience, determine what is common among cases or countries, and know how to assign priority to various factors or variables responsible for the uniqueness or commonalities being observed among different countries. But we may still go further to ask, what can we do with this information or knowledge derived from comparative analysis of 2 or more administrative systems? Sometimes, knowledge can be in itself. This is when one knows something for the sake of knowing it. However, most times, knowledge is sought for its practical value. In other words, knowledge has the capacity to help human beings improve their daily lives and their societies. These issues will get closer to you when we consider the following for specific reasons that may motivate us to study comparative administration. Natural reasons. The first reasons why we may study comparative administration is for natural reasons, or to study for natural urges and instincts as human beings. To compare, identify similarities and differences are part of the inbuilt nature of man. When we look around us, reflect about our daily lives, we will realize that comparison is a daily affair in our contracts and observation with people and objects. Ajayi 2011. Each time we meet new people or come across new objects, we tend to compare them with people or objects we know already. Comparison is fundamental to human thought. In lecture 1, you were told about Alex de Tocqueville, a famous French political philosopher who argued that without comparisons to make, the mind does not know how to proceed. What Tocqueville is telling us was that comparative study is the only way we can fully understand and explain our own political and social systems. In other words, comparing our own experience with that of other countries deepens our understanding of our own institutions and behaviors. For these reasons, human beings everywhere often engage in some forms of comparative analysis or the other. Academic reason. The second reason why some people engage in the study of comparative administration is academic. Students and scholars of public administration often compare administrative systems systematically in order to develop and test new hypotheses and theories about administrative structures and behaviors. Indeed, according to Jackson, one of the pioneering writers of comparative administration, comparison is at the methodological core of the scientific study of politics and public administration. Jackson, 1966. The reason is because comparative analysis helps us develop explanation and test theories of the ways in which administrative processes work and in which administrative change occurs. It is believed that generalizations relating to administrative structures and behavior, which is derived from comparative study of public administration, can help in formulating theoretical constructs which can provide a scientific basis for the study of public administration. As student of public administration, comparative administration helps us understand individual characteristics of each administrative system and explain factors responsible for cross-national similarities or differences. For such reasons, we must devote sufficient time and resources to engage in cross-national research from time to time if we must advance our knowledge and understanding of public administration. Political and administrative reasons. Comparative administration is also studied for political and administrative reasons. Countries usually look up to each other for lessons about how to run institutions or implement programs successfully. This is what is also called learning from global best practices. When the knowledge and information derived from comparative administration improves the efficiency of a given administrative system or a specific public organization. As we said earlier, a comparative study of public administration enables the researcher, whether they are students, academics, administrators, or policymakers, to learn about the nature and causes of the success or failure of a particular administrative system or structure of an administrative system and policy in a given environmental settings. But the question then is, what can we do with the knowledge so generated or acquired? We can therefore learn to adopt administrative policies, practice, and structures to our own societies and political systems after learning what type of administrative system others followed. Enable non-nationals to be familiar with other countries. The study of comparative administration is also relevant because it can enable non-nationals to become very familiar with other countries other than the one they are used to. In our current world, migration to other countries has become very common. Many of us aspire to visit other countries that we have never visited before for several reasons. We may want to travel out of other countries in order to further our academic studies. We may be traveling for holidays or in order to transact business. Summary. This lecture has explained some of the reasons why studying comparative administration is important and useful. The first reason we were told is to satisfy our natural urges and instincts as human beings who love comparing what we see or hear every day. The second reason is for academic purposes. When students and scholars of public administrator compare comparative systems in order to develop and test new hypotheses and theories about administrative structures and behaviors. A third reason we were told was for political administrative reasons. In this case, countries seek to learn lessons about how to run institutions or implement programs successfully by studying and comparing their experiences with those of other societies. The fourth reason you were told why comparative administration is studied is because it could enable non-nationals to become very familiar with other countries. This could facilitate their visit to such countries. This is the end of lecture 4. Thank you for listening.